Hey, one of the things that I've sold quite a few of in the last 2 years since I've been working at laser engraving is clocks. And people are just amazed at how I can get the clock face to look exactly like a clock face. Well, I'm going to show you my first way of doing it, and then I'm going to show you how you can make this look uh, even better. And I'm going to show you how to create a template for a clock. So let's switch over to LightBurn, and I've created this circle, and this circle is 11 and a half inches in diameter, so it's a perfect shape for a clock. The other thing I'm going to do with on here is I'm going to actually change this layer to my actual layer used for cutting, and I'm going to create my center of my clock right here. And I want this to be 0.3125 inches. Which is the size of 5/16. And I'm going to center this inside my circle. So there, when I actually cut this out, I usually use 1/4 inch plywood. I'm sure you could probably experiment with some other materials or thinner, depending on it, but the clock mechanisms I order are perfect for this type of clock. So now that you have your clock face, you may want to save this, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some numbers. Now I want my font, and I'm going to start with the number 12. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Let's see, how much bigger can I make it? Probably about 25 should do. And I want to make this on a fill layer. And what I want to do is I want to position it centered on the circle. And I want to move it up a little from the edge. Now, the easiest way to do this, for me, when I start, is I take my number, select my circle, use my circle array tool, and I want 12 copies. Now, if you want, you can rotate your numbers. I don't often do this. So there I have my 12 numbers, and press OK. Now, these are all 12s, so I need to go into each one and change the numbers. And this is the way I started, and this works. The only problem is, let's finish this off here. It gets easier as I go along, so I don't have to hurry one number. And there is a sample clock face. Now, this does work, but I find that if I select my 6 and I want to center it on 12, it may shift a little bit, which it just did, right? So instead what I do, let's unhide my cut lines, and I'm going to just leave my one, put my cut lines back in here. Now I'm going to change this to DD, and up here in the top it says normal. I'm going to change it to serial number, and then so my one's positioned properly, I can select my number and my circle array, and get all my numbers. Well, that doesn't look like a very good clock face. However, if we go into preview mode, there's all my numbers, and they're lined up pretty close. But what if I want to change my font? Well, I can do different fonts, so let's select a different font here. I feel like doing a Lord of the Rings trilogy, so I can do either my Tolkien font, or so if I do a Tolkien font and do my circle array and my preview mode, so I get my Tolkien font, or another way of doing that, since they're all there, I can select all this and change it to another Lord of the Rings font, which is way up here. And now you got to be careful with some of your fonts. They don't always work the way you expect them to. So let's just change this one to my other font and see if I can get this to work the right way the first time. Not sure if this will work quite right. Here we go. There's my clock. And there's my numbers. So, something simple. The other thing you can do is, what I would do is I would keep this. In fact, if I would keep this as my template. Then all I have to do is change the font and then do my circle array. And you can quickly generate lots of different clocks just based on that font size. You can do, if I switch this to line mode, and then once again I can do another quick circle array. Okay, so lots of different options for your clock face. So I hope you are willing to explore how to create clocks, and this is probably a nice simple tutorial on how you can create your clock faces. So have another great day, and we'll talk to you soon.